Hey everybody, welcome back to the Basement Shop and welcome to another Flea Market Finds episode. And again, it's not a flea market find so much as it is just a great deal I got on some tools, machinist tools, and a couple other items too we're going to throw in there. So, in the words of great Fred Sanford, it's the big one, Elizabeth. It's not, it's by far not the hugest haul that I've had, but it's a good sized haul, let's put it that way. Filled the trunk of the car and quite a bit of stuff in the back seat. And if the darn Dodge diesel was able to start that day, it was a very cold day, if that truck had started, I probably would have hauled back a bunch of other stuff that I would have got for next to nothing or scrap value, because this situation was an old garage right in the heart of, I believe, West Springfield, that was closing. The building was getting ready to be I guess demolished for new high-risers or something along that lines, and there was just a ton of stuff in there, and I shudder to think of what may have been in there before I got there, what I may have even missed out on. But I did really well, and there was a bunch of metal there that would have made nice scraps of stock for just projects and stuff that I would have loved to have hauled out of there, but there was no way that my little Nissan Altima suspension was going to be able to handle that. So unfortunately I had to leave a lot of that there. All told, I ended up dropping about $430 there, I think. So without further ado, let's jump right in. Well, let me address the elephant in the room, which is, again, my weakness for old electronics. This I really couldn't pass up because he was throwing this out. These next few items are old electrical or electronic items that I just couldn't pass up. So we're missing the antenna, and we're missing the power cord. This also can run off 12 volt. This is a Bearcat 210 scanner. These were very popular back in the day. Programmable scanners. Prior to the programmable scanners coming out, if you wanted to listen to a frequency, you had to buy a crystal that was cut to the specific frequency, and there was a little trap door you opened up on your scanner, and you had to actually insert the crystal into the channel. So there'd be like maybe an 8-channel scanner. There would be 8 sockets. You would put 8 different frequencies in there, and that's what you could listen to and nothing else. Then they came out with the programmable. And with the programmable, it was able to use like one crystal in there that would generate a frequency, and then a synthesizer, which would actually be able to artificially create all these other frequencies to tune to. So this was a major advance in scanner technology. And then Bearcat, the Uniden company, came out with the Bearcat series of programmable scanners, and these were really big sellers back in the day. And they weren't that cheap, considering, you know, for the time of the era that these are from, which I think is late 70s, early 80s. This one is branded Electra Company, manufactured by Electra Company, division of Wasco Corporation of Indiana. This might predate the Uniden. I was almost positive that Uniden was the manufacturer of the Bearcat series. That's interesting. So, well, I find it interesting. You guys might not care at all. So I was going to throw it out, so I got it for free. Stuff belonged to his granddad, so he was actually kind of glad that I wanted it. Along with that, in that pile I found these 2 old CB radios. They're Midlands. Okay, they're 23-channel Midland radios. But what's interesting to me about these is that these are supposed to be portable, if you can believe it. There's actually the ability to have a battery pack in here. All right, so you would load this with batteries. God, I don't know how long that would last. And you would be able to use this. It would hang from a case, and one of them had the microphone with it, and then I dug around some other boxes and I found the other microphone, and oh, wait a minute, hold on. I did end up finding the cord for that Bearcat scanner. Oh, we can let out the smoke genie maybe. So anyways, 2 of these early 23-channel mobile radios in unknown state of working or not, for free. I couldn't resist. So with old electronics like this, it's always a good idea to before thinking of plugging it in, applying power, it's usually a good idea to hook the device in question up to a variac, which allows you to bring the AC input voltage up slowly from 0 up slowly, and also have a current meter on there, an ammeter on there to measure the current so that you can see whether or not it starts to draw excessive current right away, and then you can shut it down and thereby possibly save the destruction of any components on the inside, especially the power transformer. But where's the fun in that? Look at that. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. I'll be a monkey's uncle. I think this damn thing works. I'd be surprised if these buttons work though. So if I put it on manual, every time I hit the manual button, I can scan through the channels that are programmed in there. So this is a 10 channel, and those are the frequencies that have been programmed in there. And then usually there's I guess on later models they came out, I think they had a weather button. You could just press it, it would automatically go to the frequency for the weather station in your area. But anyways, this is kind of neat that this works at all. Put it back on scan. So I don't know why he was going to throw this out, because this clearly could have easily been sold on Facebook Marketplace to somebody who likes old scanners for, I don't know, 20 bucks or whatever. And last but not least was this this cool looking old General Electric portable radio, AM. So this is strictly an AM radio. It's heavy as heck, and I believe this was a battery only model. Yeah, so it uses a week's salary worth of D-sized batteries to run the thing. So it's interesting to me, because if you felt how heavy this thing is, this thing just feels so heavy and clunky. It feels almost like it's a vacuum tube radio, but the fact that we're trying to run this thing off a flashlight battery tells me it's not. Well, that cracks me up. These 4 batteries here are good, which is shocking. This battery's weak, and this one's dead as a doornail. Well, since there's only 2 screws involved in taking the cover off, let's take a peek under the hood real quick, shall we? I ain't no tube, that's for sure. It's a transistor receiver, but it's an early one. There's some funky looking transistors in this thing. Axial lead capacitors, big old IF cans. Let me see if I can scrounge one D-sized battery. Well, let's see. I got 2 kind of weak batteries and 4 good ones in there. I kind of have my doubts we're going to get anything out of this thing anyways. Nothing. What that little button is? Well, it's got a light. Talk about dead as your doornails. So we got 6 cells at 6 cells at 1.5 volts each, so we should have 9 volts. I think we get a bad connection in here because I'm getting 0 volts. That's weird. Why is it so loose? These dumb batteries are really loose. The fact that these batteries are so loose in there, and the mild corrosion I can kind of see on the screws that I just took out to take this, make me think that the springs are just completely corroded and shot. So I'm not able to put any tension on the batteries and probably making a bad connection. Why do you like that? They don't even use springs in this thing. What, are they relying on this foam pad here to actually act as a spring? That's not really good. This side looks pretty clean. This side, try and bend these in further. Plastic's cracked. Maybe that took a spill. Now we're starting to get some voltage out of the thing.
Mercury, you can dispose of them properly. Mercury is hard
Cool beans. Even the dial light works. It's just a bad connection in the batteries. How cool is that that old radio works? All right, I'm back. I got it all put back together and did a little research and was able to find out that this is a General Electric model P780. This radio was originally made in 1958, and then there's a number of different suffixes, P70 A, B, C, D, all the way up to H. And the reason why I was having trouble identifying it is because on these radios there was originally a sticker on the back side of the battery door here, label on the inside of the battery door here that would have identified what model this was, but they often go missing because they get damaged from leaking batteries. That kind of makes sense. But anyways, it's kind of a neat old radio, and it works perfectly. Value on this radio, I mean, there's only one I could find listed currently on eBay, and the guy wants $155. But before we get all excited about that, the reality is actual sold radios, there is a history on eBay showing sold prices, and the cheapest one was a working radio, but it didn't look cosmetically quite as nice as this one. It had some damage on the knobs here. This has got some pitting on the chrome. So kind of a trade-off there, but that sold for $31. And then there's others that are, you know, $50, $60, $80. So the prices are kind of all over the place, and I think condition is the big factor here. So unfortunately, this damage on the chrome on the top here is probably going to be the limiting factor on the value of this particular one I have here. But I got this thing for free, and I just think it's a really neat old radio. And I've actually decided I'm going to do a little short video, just going to be about how to identify whether or not you've got a P780 A, B, C, D, E, F, or G, or H. And we'll do that separately. So let's move on to the other stuff.